During the fall season, we see our plants mature. They start protecting themselves for hibernation when it comes to winter time. Some create pods, some do different things for survival. And so I wanted to take that time of year and that interpretation into kind of like a still life design. When we think of still life, we think of it as a portrait or a painting type. But I think we can take still life and apply it to floral design. With still life, you take found objects and unusual things that you put together to create this overall look with your art. But I want to take it just a little bit step further and kind of tie in botanical illustration a little bit. So we have plant materials and different things that are tied into that. And it kind of has a little bit of a Flemish influence because I am going to be using some different types of fruits and vegetables that are being tied in. But with Flemish, you get an oval shape, and that's where we want to go with this also. But it's all about form, it's all about color, it's all about texture, and it's the composition altogether has a tremendous amount of depth, and it's all about, to me, it's all about the textures, and that's what I love. But the found objects to me is kind of fun. But I want to start off with, I've got some pyracantha that I've kind of trimmed up a little bit that I want to add to this just to create my line movement. And like I had said with Flemish, it is a little bit oval that we see, so I want to take my pyracantha. And pyracantha is kind of dangerous because it does have some mega thorns on it, but I wanted to add some of that into it. Let me pull that color down. And I'm just inserting it into floral foam so that it gives me the stability that I want. So we'll add that to this. All right, now I'm going to come back and add some many different things that I want to add. So I have just an orchid plant that I had left over. And I liked kind of that botanical influence that we see with the roots and things. So I'm going to add that in, and I just have that on a wood pick. So we're going to tie him in. I also have some kangaroo paws, and we'll start with our line movement. So with our kangaroo paw, a beautiful line that I want to just kind of combine with this grouping, and I just want to add that in. And that golden color is really going to tie into all of this grouping that we're going to see. So let's do one more. Shorten them up a bit and tie them in. Now I've got that kind of chartreusey green, that bright green from the orchid plant that I have to kind of counterbalance just a little bit. So we're going to come across the other side. I have some foliage that I want to add in. And kind of create that line movement across. So we're working with our oval shape. And then I want to come back, and we're going to build this a little bit more, but I want to come back and start working on the base. So I've got these are just permanent botanical oak leaves that are in that beautiful fall tone that I want to just tie in. So we're going to use that down to our basing techniques. So it's going to be down low and down inside of that. And then I want to come across, I'm going to add some yellow to this. I want to pull some of that yellow to the opposite side. So I have some yarrow that we're going to tuck in. And to me, yarrow is that fall. That texture, that color just ties it all in. That fall influence. And what that does is it pulls the color from here to this side. So it gives me that huge impact of yellow on this side. We'll come back and add to that. So I've got a couple pumpkins that I want to add in. I've used 2 picks. 2 picks keeps it from spinning. And I've already got those inserted. These are real pumpkins. And I also need that floral foam in here just for stability for all of the different things that we're adding in. So my rule of thumb, put it on one side, put it on the other, so that we follow that through. And I'm going to turn this so that I can do a little bit of detail work on this side. And I have some fruits and vegetables that we're going to add just to kind of follow along. These are just some amazing organic carrots that are just fun. Let's follow the line movements here. I think I'm going to put you right here. And I have just enough to add to the other side. And then I have some beautiful little corn, Indian corn, that follows in with this same pattern. That fall influence that we're seeing. And I have a couple of boards. So with this, I'm also going to add some more of that lighter green. I have some ivy that I want to tuck in here. And just tuck it down into my foam, just to kind of give me some beautiful line movement. And let me move my pumpkin out just a little bit, there we go. And I'll turn it here in just a second so you can see this other side, but this beautiful green. And then I also have some just tender vines, beautiful little tender vines that I want just to cascade around, keeping it oval, but then it's all about really the textures that we see. These amazing textures that just gives us that visual impact of, oh my gosh, I just have to touch this, or I just want to see this. It's all just really fun with all that you do when you're creating a design. So I'm going to turn this so you can see where we're going. So you can see we're adding all these little fall details to that, but it's all about that color. The color impact goes down to that center. So again, let's just add a few other details. Here I've got some kalanchoe that I put on a wood pick. I still have the stem open, but it gives me the stability that I can add it in there and I don't have to worry about losing it and having it fall out of the design. I don't want it to do that. I also just found some pods out walking, finding all these really interesting details that are just amazing this time of year with all these different types of seed pods that are being produced. Let me come back a little bit here and add a little bit more kalanchoe, making sure that the stem is into the foam. I want it to kind of cascade down and just give me some detail. Add a little bit more pyracantha just to extend my line. And I want to pull a little bit more of that yarrow here to this front side just to give me that color impact. As I turn it, then you can see another found object. This actually isn't found, this is actually a pre-made nest. But if you find nests along the way, that's really something that you can add to that. It gives it just amazing textures. And this time of year is when you really see the nest shine throughout the trees because all the leaves have come off and you see those amazing nests that just give us that detail and that plan of that bird coming back next year to be able to create a nest where it was before. Filling it in with a few more details, I have some more gourds that I want to add in. And I've got my carrots to put to the back that I have on the front for continued detail. And you could add any types of fruits and vegetables that you wanted to this. So I have some corn to tuck in. And I have one more gourd. Let me see if I need him here. Actually, where I want him, it's right at the very top. I'm just going to make a little hole to put my pick into. Let's try another one. Sometimes they do that. Oh, that's a hard gourd. Let's see if we can fix that. Let's make a bigger hole. There we go. If you're going to be using gourds and pumpkins that are real, the big thing that you want to do is just to make sure that you put a little bit of glue on that so that that'll seal up and then they won't, I don't want to say the word rot, but that's basically what it is. They will last a little bit longer if they're sealed so the air doesn't get access to the center. But I want to put this beautiful gourd right into the very center here just to add that detail. So you can see how we have this beautiful line movement. It's kind of that oval shape with the found objects and the great detail with the color impacts color, texture, and form. That's what it's all about when it comes to fall.